안녕하세요, 공문입니다. 새롭게 공개된 드라조아스 플레이 영상을 보면서 분석해보는 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 우선 급하신 분들을 위해 영상 요약을 먼저 해드리겠습니다.
Sorry to start with not much context in the middle of a battle, but these lizards have been on the horizon for ages, so it's about time I gave them what they deserve. And who better to deal out the punishment than the leader of the Legion of Asgore himself, Drazos, the Ashen. Now is the perfect time to show those who'd scorn him what his dark brilliance is capable of. We'll hit them with what I've been calling the Drazos 101. Artillery, firing lines, sorcery, skullcracker, and of course, the great beast Cinderbreath. Okay, now that they've been dealt with, let me tell you what Drazos and his angry legion have been up to.
앞 영상에서 베일 타우스를 탄 드라조아스의 모션을 보면 보병 상대로 상당히 좋아 보입니다.
What his dark brilliance is capable of. We'll hit them with what I've been calling the Drazos, and of course, the great beast Cinderbreath. So, due to the Ashen himself being exiled to the Black Fortress so long ago, our starting position isn't exactly an easy one, as the Black Fortress is stationed right in the corner. We're at turn 25 right now, and we've made some strides. We've got some luck starting with a 4-slot province. Noblar country has been transformed into a strong, efficient output for raw materials and armaments, and we've got the Great Drill built and ready. Those freaky vampires over in the Caravan of Blue Roses over in the corner have been ousted from the Haunted Forest, giving us room for yet another tower on the horizon. Karak Krakaton on the Ivory Road has also been taken from some enterprising Skaven. We've got a guy holding it for the meantime, and we'll either push further in for more materials and labor from some big ogre boys, or make some peace with the lads for a nice, profitable relationship. We've also been doing a few sacking runs to gain labor near Imric, and I think he's getting to the end of his tether with us.
Know this! I will not remember you once I have slain you.
And lastly, we've had the lizards, idling away on their little island in the far corner. They finally decided to pop their little heads up in our part of the world, saw our beautiful chaotic selves, decided that we didn't fit the great plan, and they were having none of it. And, well, we saw how that went for them. Being in our little corner doesn't mean we haven't gone out to see the world, though. We deployed a convoy to go fetch us some labor.
호송 시스템을 보면 캐슬같이 돈을 버는 게 아니고 자원을 교환하는 것으로 보이는데 자원만 교환되는 건지 돈도 버는 건지 그거는 게임이 출시돼봐야 정확히 알 것 같습니다.
Ourselves a brand new industrial powerhouse. And I know just the place to manifest it. Gorda's Backstabber, a legendary hero and a hobgoblin of renown who's more than proven himself useful to our cause, has been sent on a little excursion to the Plane of Bones. Another 4-stack province I think we can make some real use out of. We need all the raw materials and armaments we can get as we gear up to take on the Karazakarak expedition. Their army will be a great sacrifice to Hashut, as well as a clear and open message to the rest of the Tower of Zar that Drazov is back and means business. What better way to send a message to the other Chaos Dwarfs than completely crushing our non-chaotic counterpart? To get that, we're going to need armaments to up our capacity and capabilities in the Hellforge. So, welcome to
헬포지를 보면 상단에 병기고와 제조소가 나눠져 있는 걸 알 수 있고요.
likely Geneva Convention breaking. Luckily though, Geneva's not here. As you can see,
우선 병기고에서는 유닛 제한을 무기 자원을 사용해서 늘릴 수 있는 것으로 보이고
warriors and their blunderbuss brethren. We'll want to bolster this number out a bit more as we progress, as well as bring in some infernal units and war machines. It's not all about numbers though. As we increase
우측 하단의 설명을 보면 각각 병종의 유닛 제한을 일정량 올리면 제조소의 옵션이 해금되는 것을 알 수 있습니다. 제조소는 무기 자원을 써서 병종의 버프를 주는 것으로 보입니다.
per unit per turn, but it'll increase their effectiveness in the field. Okay, that's a lot of talking and a lot of war planning. We need the space for these grand machinations, and we're starting to outgrow Noblar country. We've got a lot of labourers here, and they need new assignments. The Iron Fist of the Legion and the fiery anger of Drazov and Cinderbreath are pointed firmly at you, Imrik. Pigbarter's garrison is seriously lacking, almost as if Imrik did the classic High Elf thing of looking down his nose at us for too long. It's a common misstep, nothing that a happy hobgoblin and an infernal engine can't fix. Chaos Dwarf warriors aren't the quickest, but Gordaz and his hobgoblins are perfectly capable at holding their ground until they arrive. Once they're in, the Knights of Calador will get acquainted with the tidal wave of iron and hatred that is the Dawizar. Well, we've certainly forced Imrik's hand now. This, however, isn't our only front. For starters, we do have some issues to deal with in Noblar country. As we're going on the offensive, we're going to be gaining more labour, which can actually have its issues. Control back in our home province is dropping quite heavily due to the labour populace. I imagine they're all talking, you know? Talking about such frivolous prospects like bathroom breaks and lunch hours. I bet they're even considering the concept of paid overtime. We can settle their little ideologies by utilising labour to rush production, but I'm going to keep matters in line for a few turns by setting an example. A missing guardrail here, a wrong type of ladder handed off there. This should hopefully keep matters in line. Our other front is the caravan. If we're unlucky, there might be many hardships on the road that we'll encounter. Chaos Dwarf hardware, after all, is nothing to scoff at. And to say that we're proficient in making enemies is, well, it's quite the understatement. If they fail, it's going to make creating a new industrial zone a lot more difficult. But moving on Pigbarter has opened our eyes to a potential contingency. Darkhold is part of this province, and it happens to just be a ruin. I don't buy that for a second though. Where there's ruins, there's rats. And where there's rats, there's a possibility that big, man-sized rats that don't know what am I doing. We're not the Empire, we're the Dawizar. It's Skaven. There's Skaven in them there hills. And if I have to diversify my upcoming workforce, you bet I will. Oh, look who it is! Stinking rats. We'll be hitting the rats with the same tactic we had in Pigbarter. We'll pepper them with artillery as well as magic from Drazov, utilising Cinderbreath's flying speed. At that point, it's all iron, gunpowder, coal, and hate. Choo-choo! Oh, come on, you know I need it.
스컬크래커가 보병 상대로는 좋아 보이는데 이게 지금 보면 저티어로만 상대를 했기 때문에 게임이 나와봐야 알 것 같습니다.
Okay, so my anger might have gotten the better of me, and by doing this, we may have made things a bit more difficult for us here, by angering the Skaven, which leaves us with a dilemma. On one hand, we're already taking land from the Knights of Caledor, and it'd be proficient for us to keep our labour in this region alone. However, on the other hand, Clan Rictus might be a little sneaky, and could potentially try to sneak up on Noblar County, while our primary legion is destroying Imric's boys. We need to recoup our losses and muster some new units. So for the meantime, we'll hang in Darkhold and see what happens. So we've hit our first dilemma with a convoy here.
호송 이벤트로 블랙 드래곤으로 오는 이벤트가 있네요.
Labor coming in. But on the other hand, I'm not really up for saying no to a dragon. Speaking of dragons, the dragon nerd Imric himself has left the fortress of Vorag. I guess I'm not the only one with a potential Skaven issue, but it'd be foolish not to pounce on the opportunity. So let's move on in and make ourselves welcome, shall we? Time is of the essence, so we've no time for siege weapons. We're utilizing ladders, the Skullcracker for the gate, and Drazov brutalizing the gate garrison. Once we're in,
스컬크래커의 액티브 어빌리티를 보면 사용 시 가속, 질량, 속도가 대폭 증가하는 것으로 보입니다.
let's let the Skullcracker let loose. With our guns on the wall, we run the penitentiary now. With the Knights of Caledor overcome in their fortress by iron and magic, it was only a matter of time before they crumbled before the Legion of Asgore. The fortress
주도는 이기고 나서 콘클라베의 영향력을 사용해서 정착지 레벨을 올리는 것으로 보여집니다.
earned ourselves a new gift in the process, the Kadai Fireborn. Demonic fire elementals bound by Chaos Dwarf sorcery and adorned in Darwizar armaments. Their ferocity makes them exceptional flank troops, and precisely what I want in my army. We do, however, have more trouble on our hands. First off, we have this hero unit hanging around outside, and she's ruining the vibe, to be honest. Gordas, deal with her.
고르드즈를 보면 7렙이 되면서 고유 지팡이를 얻고 그 전에 이미 고유 아이템 2개가 있는 걸 봐서는 쓸만하지 않을까라고 예상은 되어집니다.
Gordas, way to go, mate. Truly living up to that surname. Yeah. Our convoy is under attack, and a strategic question for the ages has been posed to us. Do I slaughter, or do I massacre? Never before has a question been asked to a general that is so intense. I'll think on it as I crush these Darwian to dust. And I'll let the result determine which we did, whilst Drazov marches on Imric at Anarel's tomb.
장전 모션이 있네?
I think I'll deem this one a slaughter. I love dragons. Maybe Imric had the right idea. So all that's left in our grand plan is taking Anarel's tomb. I like what you did with the province, Imric, but I think we can do better. No hard feelings, mate. It's just business. Imric has brought the numbers, and while we're not lacking ourselves, we're going to have to use our units to our advantage. Our firing lines have the capacity to drop whatever he throws at us at the speed of however quickly they can reload.
크다이의 파이어본은 유닛 수가 16개인 걸 봐서는 괴물 보병이네요.
The speed of the fireball. The Kadai aren't the only people bringing the fire though. Give them a taste, Cinderbreath. Our Skullcracker is already getting started by tending to the fields. A bit preemptive, we've only one now, but hey, we need a nice place for Cinderbreath to relax in. Look at him frolic. So, with Imrik off the board and these lands firmly under our control, we can get to further bolstering our infernal machine and prepare to take on those pesky Dawi. This is a definite victory for us, despite our losses. We'll need to regroup for a bit, gather our strength, and bolster up our army. Once we're at full strength, we march on the expedition, and we're gonna bring a new friend with us. Wait, hold on, what's that? Oh, so that's where you went, Tretch. What fitting behaviour for a rat. We've established a bit of a foothold here, and I want my province back under my full control. Tretchy has made this personal, so I'm going to expend some of my labour to build a Dreadquake mortar, primarily to hurt him. While I'm also preparing, as it will take us a few turns to reach Darkhold, I've also got some Conclave influence, and Floor 2 has opened up in the Tower of Tsar. I still need a bit more influence for some of the unlocks here, and wait, hold on. Someone's taken one of my seats. Zatan! Oh, come on, man. I thought we were pals in like a Cold War and not really pals kind of way. You're lucky you're the focus of the next episode, or I swear on her shit. Anyways, anger aside, we need to strategize. I'm going to add modifications in the Hellforge for our units to spice them up, as we're still lacking a bit in numbers, and we need every advantage we can get. We're also bringing in 2 regiments of renown. The Blazing Beards, Chaos Dwarf warriors with beards that fill me personally with fear, and Hashut's favourite engine, the Demon's Tongue. You brought this on yourself, Tretch. I'm gonna scorch your earth and break whatever affront of vehicle technology this thing is. Ugh, so primitive. I'm cursing that doom wheel with the curse of Hashut, just as Tretch's reinforcements arrive. Right, so what does this button do? That's a really fun button. Well, we've successfully discarded any bravery those reinforcements of Tretch has had, which leaves us with a nice little massacre to have here. I'd say thank you for the warm-up, but I think we're hot enough. Oh, so this one's a massacre. Ah, there we go.
Retreat! Surrender!
Whew. Well, that was commendable, if dishonourable, Tretch. Have fun in the mines, rat. So, with Tretch's forces blown to Kingdom Come, we've eked out a victory here, but the expedition is still on the horizon. I need to take more time to recuperate and rebuild my forces. But I've got some spicy projects going on at the Black Fortress. It's going to be an interesting time for the Karazakarak expedition, by the time I get around to them. So, here we are. We've rebuilt up our forces, bolstering here and there. We've got some nasty new tricks up our sleeve with a new tower seat, and we're throwing everything we can at this. We need them dead if we're going to show the Tower of Tsar how badly Astragoth messed up for exiling us all our years ago. We also managed to summon a new friend into the fray for the battle too. Karazakarak expedition, say hello to the Kadai Destroyer. Luckily, we've got a meat shield line of labourers here too, which is convenient considering we took our time looking cool arriving in slow-mo. No apologies, they understand. Let's sacrifice some Dawi, shall we? For Hashut. We'll send the Kadai Destroyer in first to deal with their frontline units, to replace the grudges in their hearts with fear. Oh, some lads are trying to pull a sneaky flank. I don't think the gyrocopters were ready for Cinder Breath though. While the Kadai are out here having the best time one can have while bound to Darwizar technology, we'll use our new tower seat to spawn in even more Fireborn to flank these would-be flankers. How unfortunate for them. Admittedly, the only people here I feel sorry for though are the labourers. The destroyer is quite excitable. But it's okay, we'll get more.
And we can get more labourers, right?
재밌게 보셨다면 구독 부탁드리겠습니다.